Hey guys, we're going to go ahead and work on the next part of Pong. Right now, this set of code off to the side here should look pretty familiar, and this is what we actually get to have happen. So I have my Pong bouncing up and down. I'm going left, right. We're going to fix a couple things because my paddle doesn't stop. Once I press left, it's going left. Once I press right, it's going right. Okay, and our Pong is going everywhere. We've got a few things that we're going to solve as we put a score to this game. But we got to change some things. This is my Pong that I have created that will actually keep track of the score. Looks quite a bit different, and there's certain reasons why. So I went ahead and I had to realize that the function right in here will start running through all the code. Makes the background white. Does the Pong, bouncing off the edges of the platform, colliding with the platform, the edge with it, and then the keyboards, and it keeps going through. But the longer and more we add in here, the more confused it's going to get because we want it to solve several things at the same time. So we've got to do a little bit of a rebuild. So one thing I might suggest is going to your original coding, which looks like this. Click on Remix, and it will make a new copy that you can rename. So I'm going to name mine Pong Rebuild is what I had it at. I'm going to name it Pong 2.0 because we're going to make it even better. So I'm going to save that. And you will still have your original copy that you can get to. First thing we have to do in order to make this work is get rid of the background. We'll put the background back in later, but for right now we're going to get rid of it, and here's why. When we get into putting in the text writes on the original colored background, not on the picture that you put over the top. So that creates a bit of an issue. So let's go ahead and get rid of those for now. I'll show you a way to get those back in later, but take those two out. Now I'm going to come down and start doing some new functions. So I'm going to click on Function. I'm going to bring in the top one, and I'm going to drop that right underneath the original function that says draw. I'm going to call this show score. In order for it, and it's okay for right now that it shows a warning sign to the side. In order to show the score, we have to draw some text. I need to bring in a fill color to tell it what text color I want it to be. If you do a drop-down arrow, you can see several different selections here. I'm going to choose black. The computer knows what the color black is. So inside of the quotations, I type the word black. I'm also going to bring in the text where I want it to be. This will actually put in the text, so I'm going to put in score inside the quotation marks. You see this little tiny arrow? I need to expand it twice. I could put 0, 15, and I believe on these two I'm going to make the text box like 20 by 20. I believe that's what it's telling us. And we need to add in text size, I believe is what I needed to grab. And I'm going to make that size 20. Let's see what that does for us here. Oh, but I didn't call it. And that's a thing that we got to do in this function. I need to go ahead and call show score. So I'm going back to the green function, coming down to not this one that has the N, but this single layered function, and I'm going to bring that in underneath white, and I'm going to call this show score. Oh, I got to spell show score correctly. So what it's going to do when the program hits this spot right here, it's going to jump down and grab the instructions from here and slide it in. Let's see if it functions. And there's my word score at the top. If I wanted to change its positions, I would change these numbers. But you have to have a fill, you have to have a text size, and then we want it to say the word score. Now, just because we said the word score doesn't mean it's actually going to work. And if you did not take out your background sprites, you wouldn't see the word score. You have to take those background sprites out. We're also going to need a variable in order to collect the score. Because the next thing I'm going to want it to do is show me the text of the score that I have come up with. So at the top, I'm going to bring in a new comment, and it's going to not create, declare. Declare variables. Go to variables. Grab variable x equals something. Bring that in. Inside the x, we're going to say score. And at the very beginning, I want my score to be 0. We'll take care of the little warning flag here after a bit. So now I'm coming in. I have my score being shown, but what I need to do now is make a little text box that says, and where was the text? Right there. And I'm not going to have any quotation marks around it. I'm going to call the number for the score. Right now, if we put it up and we run the program, the score would be 0. And that's what we should see. I'm going to click on the last 2 arrows again. Got me some spots in there. I'm going to put 20 and 20 in these last 2 spots. But now here, if I do the same numbers, it's just going to overlap. So if I run the program, we should see the 0 is over the S. But at least it's coming in. That's a good thing. Let's move it to the side. This is X, and I believe that's Y. So let's go ahead and change that first number to a 35. Let's see what it does. It moved my 0 over to the R. Now let's come in and change it to a 65. Now my 0 is off by itself. So eventually, when I get the adding and subtracting going on and my score coming in over to the side, we'll be able to see a different number being added every time my Pong touches my platform. So we've got some new things that we have done to make this start to work. We remixed, renamed, took out the background sprites, we declared a variable, score equals 0. We also put in the text function here. Inside we got fill, text size, and we put in our 2 text words and information. And then we also did this important thing. We brought in the show score function right into there. We're going to bring in a few more of those in the next video. Good job, guys. We're going to get this score done, and we're going to make a really cool Pong game. Great job coding.